Corsair Cove is coming out on July 31, 2026, and it's not trying to be another copy of those generic pirate games. It's a city builder mixed with a pirate fantasy. If you are a fan of both of them like me, let's talk everything worth knowing. First of all, there's one thing to get straight. If you're expecting Sea of Thieves, this is not that kind of game. And that's not a bad thing either. What you're actually doing most of the time is building a settlement, optimize resources, and survive with very demanding crew. The island you build on isn't flat either, and that changes a lot. Most city builders are about expanding horizontally, but Corsair Cove throws that idea overboard. There are cliffs and waterfalls, and scarce flatland forces you to build vertically up the craggy cliffsides of your island refuge. We're not just building a town, we're carving a fortress into the rock, a multi-layered bastion for all of pirate kind. Our goal for today is to take this desolate starting point and turn it into the beginnings of a true pirate paradise. But as we'll see, our crew looks anything but happy. Right away, we have our first problem, low morale. Our pirates are grumbling and unproductive. There's only one solution for that, a tavern. And a tavern needs ale. This introduces us to our first complex production chain. First, we need wood, so we build a humble woodcutter's camp. But here's where Corsair Cove's verticality becomes a brilliant puzzle. Every building has to be connected to a central camp via a network of paths. On the ground, that's easy. But to reach a cliffside ledge, we need to construct rope bridges and rickety ladders. So in this game, you have to pay attention to more than just if you have enough wood. Because here it's more like, is the wood stored close enough? And can your workers even get to it efficiently? With the woodcutter connected, logs start flowing to the brewery, which starts churning out barrels of ale. The final piece is the tavern itself. We build it, connect it, and the mood begins to shift. For the first time, this rock feels less like a prison and more like a home. We've solved our first major problem, survival. The crew is tipsy, but they are happy. Now that we've got grog in their bellies, it's time to think bigger. In Corsair Cove, progression seems to be tied to a system called deeds, milestones that you complete to unlock points. You spend these points on a compass, which acts as your tech tree, opening up new buildings and upgrades along 4 distinct paths: notoriety, empire, seafaring, and wealth. Our next big problem is food. The crew can't live on ale alone. A new deed challenges us to establish a stable food source, so a fishing dock seems like the logical solution. Construction is a more complex project, demanding more resources and workers. But with our newly motivated crew, the work gets done. Soon, our fishermen are bringing back a steady supply of fish. We've secured food and drink. The basic needs are met. The cove is growing, with tents and workshops now clinging to the cliffs, connected by a web of ropes and planks. It's starting to look like a proper pirate settlement. And you know, seeing this place come to life is incredibly satisfying. If you're finding this breakdown useful and want to see just how big our pirate paradise can get, consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, a question for the comments. What should we name our first glorious tavern? I saw some suggestions for the Grumbling Griffon or the Salty Spittoon. Let me know your best ideas. We've hit a wall, a resource wall. To keep expanding and build more advanced structures like cannon foundries, we need materials that simply don't exist on this island. And this is the brilliant core gameplay loop of Corsair Cove. To truly thrive, we must take to the seas and plunder. Some things you can't even make at home, which keeps pulling you back into the naval side of the game, even though you're mostly a builder at heart. It's time to stop just building a cove and start building a fleet. Our next major goal is to construct a shipyard. This is the most ambitious project yet. We spend time optimizing our logging operations, and slowly, the frame of the shipyard takes shape. Once it's complete, we can finally build our first real ship. A small, scrappy vessel perfect for our first raid. With the ship built and crewed, we prepare to set sail. The cove is a safe harbor, but the real prizes are out on the high seas. Now, we leave the city building behind and enter the strategy layer. We send our ship to explore and soon spot a lone merchant ship. This triggers an encounter. When you run into trouble on one of those trips, the combat switches to a turn-based card and dice setup that feels like it's pulled from a tabletop RPG. You're presented with choices: approach stealthily or raise the black flag and charge in. We decide on a bold, direct assault. The dice roll. Success. A direct hit cripples their mast. Our pirates swing aboard, and the fight is short and decisive. The prize is exactly what we needed: iron, fine textiles, and other goods we can't make ourselves. It's a moment of triumph. We return to the cove as victorious pirates. The new resources are unloaded, and now we can finally build the structures we've been dreaming of. That iron goes straight to a new blacksmith, who can forge better tools and the parts needed for our first cannon foundry. The textiles allow us to create a tailor, improving crew happiness. The cove transforms again as wood and rope bridges are slowly reinforced with sturdier materials. The payoff for our raid is immediate and tangible. And once you get the rhythm down here, build, hit a wall, plunder, repeat, it does start to feel like a very satisfying loop. Just look at how far we've come. What started as a few miserable souls on a barren rock is now a bustling, multi-leveled hive of activity. We have flowing ale, a steady food supply, a shipyard, and a blacksmith. From the fishing docks at sea level to the woodcutters high in the hills, this place feels alive. Corsair Cove seems to be delivering on its promise, blending deep, logistics-heavy city building with the thrill of high seas adventure. The vertical construction isn't just a gimmick, it fundamentally changes how you approach expansion. Anno fans especially, then this one looks like it's built exactly for you. Our journey is far from over. The Crown and its pirate hunters are out there, and they won't ignore us for long. The next step is to build a true warship, perhaps a brigantine or another destroyer-class vessel, and take the fight to them. What should be our next target? A heavily defended treasure fleet? Or should we focus on fortifying our cove? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to follow the rise of our pirate empire. Until next time.